Hey guys, what's going on? This is Julio with Flip This. I wanted to go over something very important today. So, first off, we kind of have an idea of how to get started on whatever process and whatever entrepreneurship we want to take, right? So, we have an idea of how it works. Now, what is the most important factor of that? The most important factor is taking action and changing your mentality to take the action. So, how do you change your mentality? How do you change from going to point A to point Z, basically? If you really think about it, you are completely doing a 180 with everything you're doing and everything you want to do. So, let's say, hypothetically, you're working at a 9 to 5 job, which is perfectly fine, but you say, hey, you know what? I'm just not happy where I'm working at. I'm not content. This is not where I want to be. This is not where I pictured my life to end up. So how do you change that? Okay, so your reality would be to get up in the morning, drink your coffee, get ready for work, and drive there. Sometimes you don't even realize when you get there, right? You just get there and you're like, oh, I guess I'm here. So that's cool. So why is that happening so constantly, and why does it happen in that way? It's very simple. It becomes a part of your reality. And how do you change that reality? Well, let me kind of use a very good example of how that can change. So when somebody discusses anything with you in regards to, your lifestyle or who you are or what you do. So if somebody asks you, hey, what do you do for a living? Well, I work and I go from 9 to 5 and then I come home. I say hi to everybody. I have a glass of wine and I have some dinner and then I go to sleep. And the next day, I wake up and take a shower and have my breakfast and have my coffee and just take off. So if you put that into context, that is your reality. That is what you're doing. So you have chosen to do those kinds of things because that's where you're at right now. So how do you change that? You change those perspectives and you change that outcome by changing your reality. And how do you change your reality? Well, first off, you have to take action. And taking action involves many factors. It takes the number one thing that I believe that has worked for me is changing the words that I use, changing the words that come out of my mouth. It's not necessarily changing the way I think immediately, because that is a very difficult task to accomplish. But I think that once you start changing your words, changing words, for example, like, that's something I can't do that. It's not something I can do. To, you know what? Let me give it a shot. See if I can do something. See if I can, maybe I can. So that is something that gets you started with the first little baby step. Or, let me use an example. When I was younger, this wasn't too long ago, I used to live off chicken nuggets and cup of noodles. And I literally put those chicken nuggets in a cooler because I couldn't afford a fridge. I couldn't even afford a mini fridge. I couldn't even look up, go on the free section, or go to a used appliance store and get a fridge. That's how bad it was for me. Now, the place that I used to live in was so small, and I don't want to be completely graphic with you, but it was so small that I could take a shower and cook breakfast at the same time because the stove was that close to the shower. So I used to get ice to put in that cooler and keep my food cool until, I don't know, a couple of days, maybe 3 to 4 days, because a bag of ice could only last you so long, right? So I thought to myself, I can't be living like this. I can't do this. This is not who I am. How did I get here? I got there by being the same person I've always been, which was a person that didn't have any goals, didn't want to accomplish anything, technically just gave up. I gave up and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do this until I die or until something lands on my lap. But nothing ever landed on my lap, ever. So that's when I started realizing, I said, something's got to change. Maybe my parents have to change. Maybe my siblings have to change. Maybe my work has to change. Maybe I have to get a higher paying job and this will change everything. And I got a higher paying job. My parents never changed. My siblings never changed. So the things that I thought were going to change my life never changed anything. Why? Because I was the same person I've always been. And when you do the same thing over and over and over and expect a different result, that's crazy. It's never going to happen. So how did I change that? Well, we're going to need more than a couple of minutes to go over this, but I'm going to put it to you in a nutshell. The way this changed for me is, first off, I started changing my words, my vocabulary. So I started changing things like saying, I can't afford this, or this is only for people that are well off, or this is only for somebody that can afford a vacation, or this is only for somebody that can afford to buy a house, or this is only for somebody that can, have a decent car, or only somebody with a lot of data on their phone can do this. Only somebody with Wi-Fi. I want to use that as an example because that's literally how I thought. And I started changing from this is only for somebody that can do this to, you know what? I can give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And once those little things started taking over, and I'm not saying, I was changing the way I was thinking. No, I wasn't changing the way I was thinking. I was changing what I was saying. So when I started changing the words that I was using, that's when my mind slowly started catching up. But guess what? The more words I used that were positive outcomes and productive outcomes and made me feel better about myself, that's when things really started changing. That's when my mind started catching up and saying, man, you can do this. Go out and do it. Man, you can change that. Go out and change it. Man, you can afford that vacation. Go get it. So these are very important steps to take to start changing your mentality. Number one is changing your words. Change how you speak. Change who you speak to. And make sure you do not put yourself down. You have to be optimistic. You have to be productive. And you have to push yourself. And you do have to pat yourself on the back when something goes fantastically great for you. That will motivate your brain and it will motivate you to get going and to change things. The reality is what we make, right? Because my reality is here right now, sitting down and talking to you. Your reality is sitting there or driving there or listening audio, whatever you're doing, listening to me. That's your reality right now. You could be on your way to bungee jumping. You can be on your way to skydiving. You can be on your way to your business. You can be on your way to your company. You can be on your way to work. You can be on your way to a vacation. You can be on vacation. Whatever the case is, that is your reality right now. So you have made that reality come true. And the reason you've made that reality come true is because you set your words in your mind to it. So it's very, very important that you take care of the words that you use when you talk about yourself, when you talk to your friends, when you talk to your family, when you talk to people you know. Don't worry what anybody else thinks about the words that are coming out of your mouth if you are patting yourself on the back. You know why? Because nobody cares about you more than you. You cannot take care of anybody else. You cannot love anybody else if you do not love yourself. Both you and I know that. I know that personally. I wasn't able to love until I loved myself. And oh my gosh, that has changed drastically. Everything that I do, every goal that I've accomplished so far has been the fruits of what I have taken care of, the things that I've said, the things that I've done. I promised myself I was going to do certain things and certain goals and accomplish them, and I did, because I said no matter what, whether rain or shine, this is going to happen. So I want to encourage you to trust yourself. If you think something negative, it's okay. It's fine to think about something negative, but just do the complete opposite. Do something positive. And if you think about something positive, go through with it. If it's difficult to do it, but you know if you take care of it, it's going to change your life, go for it and do it. That's the best thing that you can do to move forward. So I want to encourage you guys to really take a good look inside and really think about what your goals are and where you want to be. In order for you to be the person that you want to be, you have to get rid of the person that you are. You cannot be the person you want to be by being the person you are right now. That person has to go. You have to say, I'm sorry, your lease is up. You have to vacate the premises immediately. That is the person that you need to get rid of. The person that is obstructing your future. Go out and be that new person you want to be. Take care of it. Get it done. Nobody's going to get it done but you. All right, guys, this is Julio with Flip This. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys the next time. Peace out.